Okay, this is God, and he's continuing, and now he's talking back and forth with Job. Chapter 40. Moreover, the Lord answered Job and said, Shall he that contendeth with the Almighty instruct him? He that reproveth or rebukes God, let him answer it. Then Job answered the Lord and said, Behold, I am vile. What shall I answer thee? I will lay mine hand upon my mouth. Once I have spoken, but I will not answer. Yea, twice, but I will not proceed any further. Then answered the Lord unto Job out of the whirlwind and said, Gird up thy loins now like a man. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. Answer me. Wilt thou also disannul my judgment? And when he says disannul, it means nullify my judgment. Wilt thou condemn me that thou mayest be righteous? Hast thou an arm like God? Or canst thou thunder with a voice like him? Deck thyself, or adorn thyself now with majesty and excellency, and array thyself with glory and beauty. Cast abroad the rage of thy wrath, and behold every one that is proud, and obeys him or humble him. Look on every one that is proud, and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together, and bind their faces in secret. Then will I also confess unto thee, that thine own right hand can save thee. Behold now, behemoth, or a large animal, exact identity unknown, probably a dinosaur, which I made with thee. He eateth grass like an ox. Now lo, his strength is in his loins, and his force is in the navel of his belly or stomach muscles. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The shewings of his stones, or his thighs, are wrapped together or tightly knit. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. He is the chief of the ways of God. He that made him can make his sword to approach unto him. Surely the mountains bring forth food, where all the beasts of the field play. He lieth under the shady, or under the lotus trees, in the covert of the reed, and fiends or marsh. Behold, he drinketh up a river, and hasteth not. He trusteth, and that means the river may rage, yet he is not disturbed. He trusteth that he can draw up Jordan into his mouth. He taketh it with his eyes, or he is confident, though Jordan gush into his mouth. His nose pierceth through snares. Now, chapter 41. Canst thou draw out Leviathan? This is the large sea creature, exact identity unknown. With a hook, can you draw him out with a hook? Or his tongue with a cord which thou lettest down? Can thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with a thorn, with a hook? Will he make supplications unto thee? Will he speak soft words unto thee? Will he make a covenant with thee? Wilt thou take him for a servant forever? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him, or bargain over him? Shall they part him among the merchants, or divide him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or harpoons? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons or harpoons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thy hand upon him. Remember the battle. Do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain, or the overcoming him is futile. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me? Now, he's made all these fierce animals on land and on sea. And he says, none is so fierce that dare stir him up, talking about the sea creature. Who then is able to stand before me? Who hath prevented me, or preceded me, that I should repay him? He owes no one. Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, or keep silent concerning his power, or parts or limbs, nor his comely proportion, or graceful proportions. Who can discover or remove his outer coat? Who can discover the face of his garment? Or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, or his shields. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. His scales are so close together that no air can even come between them. They are joined one to another. They stick together, that they cannot be sundered or separated. By his neaslings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of the seething pot and cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, a flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him, or despair dances before him. The flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone, or the lower millstone. When he raises himself up, when he raises up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves, are beside themselves. The sword of him that layeth that layeth, the sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, or the sword that reaches him cannot avail. The spear, the dart, nor the habergeon, or the javelin. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of the spear. Sharp stones, or sharp stones are under him, or his undersides are sharp like potsherds. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be hoary, or had white hair. Upon earth there is not like him. There is not his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all things, all high things. He is a king over all the children of pride. Sounds pretty terrible to me. Not anything I want to be out in the middle of the sea messing with. And the final chapter in the book of Job. Then Job answered the Lord and said, I know that thou canst do everything, and that no thought can be withholden from thee. Who is he that hideth counsel without knowledge? Therefore have I uttered that I understood not, things too wonderful for me, which I knew not. Hear, I beseech thee, and I will speak. I will demand of thee, and declare thou unto me. I have heard of thee by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye seeth thee. Wherefore I abhor myself, or I despise myself, and repent in dust and ashes. And it was so, that after the Lord had spoken these words unto Job, the Lord said to Eliphaz the Temanite, My wrath is kindled against thee, and against thy 2 friends, for ye have not spoken of me the thing that is right, as my servant Job hath. Therefore take unto you now 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and go to my servant Job, and offer up for yourselves a burnt offering, and my servant Job shall pray for you. For him will I accept, lest I deal with you after your folly, in that ye have not spoken of me the thing which is right, like my servant Job. So Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite went and did according as the Lord commanded them. The Lord also accepted Job, or lifted up the face of Job. And the Lord turned, or restored, the captivity or the losses of Job when he prayed for his friends. Also the Lord gave Job twice as much as he had before. Then came there unto him all his brethren, and all his sisters, and all they that had been of his acquaintance before, and did eat bread with him in his house. And they bemoaned him and comforted him over all the evil that the Lord had brought upon him. Every man also gave him a piece of money, and every one an earring of gold. So the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, for he hath 14,000 sheep, and 6,000 camels, and 1,000 yoke of oxen, and 1,000 she asses. He had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. And he called the name of the first Jemimah, and the name of the second Keziah, and the name of the third Curin-Happuch. And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them inheritance among their brethren. After this Job lived 140 years, and saw his sons and his sons' sons, even 4 generations. So Job died, being old and full of days. Now, it says that the Lord and that his friends came, his brothers and sisters, and they bemoaned him and comforted him over all the evil or adversity that the Lord had brought upon him. Remember, God allowed Satan to test Job, because Satan was saying, oh, he'll fall away, And God said, no, go ahead, just try it. And Job didn't. And then God gave him permission to afflict him physically, short of killing him. So when it says the Lord had brought upon him this evil, all these trials, I guess since he gave Satan permission to do this, he allowed it. But I don't think God does evil things. He allowed Satan to do evil things. And so, but what do you think about God? Hearing how he talked to Job. I mean, in the Old Testament you read, and the word of the Lord came, and the Lord said, and it's usually because he's ticked off or mad at the Israelites because they've turned to a false idol. But here is a totally different situation. And you see how God comes and says, so smart, huh? Well, what do you think? Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Do you know where the foundations of the earth are? Hey, check out this guy I made. Look how he's made. Do you think anybody's going to mess with him? And he answers to me, who can bridle him, he says, because God could bridle him. So our God is amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. I'm like, wow. Just like I said, don't let the things in this world throw you for a loop. Look at all the things that God spoke into existence that has continued. Oh my goodness. Look at a tree. I'm always so amazed when I look at trees. I absolutely love the trees that God made. They're so beautiful, and they're all so different, and they grow, and their leaves are different, and some shed their leaves in the fall, and turn green again in the spring. Some stay green all year long, and there's all different kinds of the green ones that stay green all year long. This is the time of the year where we get our Christmas trees, and maybe a blue spruce or a fir tree. There's all different kinds of the evergreen trees. And you cut one and you bring it into your house, and it smells so good, and it makes the whole house smell like the forest. Oh my goodness. How can you not be amazed? How can you not be astonished? How can you not be in awe of the power and majesty that our Lord possesses? And how can you not be grateful and just, humbled by his mercy and grace? I mean, when you realize how powerful God is and how he can wipe you out in the twinkling of an eye, or change you in the twinkling of an eye, you better give reverence. You better be, humble and appreciating and grateful to him, because look how powerful he is. Look at how awesome he is. Look at how wonderful he is. Look at all the things that he has made. Not the things that men make with their hands. For crying out loud, he's made something that could crawl up out of the sea and knock a skyscraper down flat. and he wouldn't even be phased, So, don't go, thinking, that man's so great, because we're not. But you know what? I mean, we're not that great compared to God, but he made us for his pleasure. He loves us. Just like you have children, and your children have children, and raise a family, and he has all the world, all the people in the world are his children, even if they don't love him and they follow a false idol. There will come a time when he's going to lose his school, and he's going to, his wrath will be expelled upon the earth. And at that time, at the end of the 3.5 years of Satan's reign, wow, we're going to get to go to heaven and see him. We're going to get to go to heaven and be there and have our white robes and our palms in our hands. Just think how wonderful that's going to be. Heaven's such a beautiful place, and God is there, and he is what makes it so wonderful, because he gives off this beautiful white light that's just, it's like if you could condense love down and make it concentrated. That's our God. He's like concentrated love. His light that he gives off is his love. It's concentrated. It's like nothing that we've had here on earth. I promise you, it is nothing as good as the love of God. The light that surrounds him. That light is so amazing that you just will not even believe how wonderful it feels. You will just never, ever, ever know until you get there, until you see that light and you feel that light. It's not so much like it's not anything like looking at a light bulb or a car headlight or any kind of light or reflection or anything that man made. No, it's nothing like that. It's pure love. absolutely pure love. Sorry, I had to sneeze. It's absolutely pure love. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. And I can't wait to get there and be in it. So whatever I have to go through in this world, I will. But nothing in this world is going to tear me away from my God, because my God is awesome and there is no other. There is no other God. They just have never existed to me, and they never will. Oh. Even though Satan's had his hands around my neck at times in my life, God saved me. Ah, he's amazing. He is so amazing. The more I read and study my Bible, the better and better I'm getting to know and understand him. You know, it's like, okay, girls and guys who have had someone that you fell in love with, you know, and you get to know them and their ways and what they like and what they don't like and what you can do that pleases them. You know, do they like a certain thing to eat? Do they like their clothes starched and ironed? Do they like them fresh right out of the dryer? Do they, like the way you decorated the bedroom? you know, but, it's little things like that that get you where you really know somebody. You know what to expect. You can almost finish their sentences, that kind of thing. Well, I'm not going to be able to ever finish God's sentences. But when I think about how awesome he is, how amazing, how powerful, whew, man, I'll tell you what, that'll keep you in line. That will keep you on the straight and narrow. That'll keep you biting your tongue. Because he is no respecter of persons. Doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Doesn't matter if you got a big fancy house or you live in a grass hut. It makes no difference to God. He doesn't even consider that. So whatever your circumstances are, follow God. Don't let anything in this world drag you away from him, hon. Just know how much he loves you. And I tell you, I'll tell you, and tell you. He loves you so much. He loves us so much. Okay, and as always, I love you. Have a great night, great day, great afternoon, great morning. Talk to God. He loves to hear from us. He really does. Say your prayers. Talk to him often. He's always listening because he loves us. All right, we'll talk to you later. And as always, right, Annie? Right, Annie? I love you.